Hey guys, this is Mr. Riz. Sorry, I know I have a video going over this, but I know with the new update to Riplet, I just thought it'd be easier to make this video about the next part. Hopefully you guys can watch. And I know on, let's see, Friday, we kind of ended off with a little bit of an error. So we're going to try to fix that and then do the next part, which is to bind all the key presses. All right, so to kind of run this here, what we can see here is that we get our five random letters and apples appearing on the screen. And then we added the last part, which was to the apple dropper. I think we called it to bind with this space key. So then if we press space, an apple drops and then a new one gets written. But we kind of have a weird situation here. For me, looks like it dropped the R, put it over here and replace it. We kind of have apples on top of apples. That one drops and it replaces. Okay, so let's go through and try to figure out what's going on with what and what could be causing the issue. I know here, if you like spam it, if I press like space, actually might end up getting an error. Yeah, well, we can debug with AI now too. Okay, so let's go through and try to figure out what is going, what's good, what's bad about this. So it's good that all these are getting made, and it looks like R is the last apple on our list. Okay, so then let's check, does our on key, our space, our apple dropper, which is supposed to drop apple 2 from our list, or it's supposed to pick those 2 apples and drop them from the list. All right, so we can kind of look at our list here. Apple 2 gets dropped, goes down at the bottom of the screen. We can see here, but it wrote a different letter. What did it write? It wrote the letter R, which is the last letter in our list here. So let's go through. We might have to modify our drop apple function here. So our drop apple takes the active letter. Okay, so which would be, in our example, apple 2, right? Because that's the one coming from the list. You know what I should probably do? I should probably zoom this up so you guys can see a little bit better. I know you guys are, you know what? Probably don't need to see me. Zoom this up so you guys can see. I'm working on my laptop too, which is not my preferred one, but all right. So we're basically talking about Apple 2. That's what we are dropping. And oh, I just noticed this too. My writer, our dropped writer is Apple list. It should be writer list too. Maybe this might make a difference. Okay. Right. So I got those letters or 5 letters built. We're going to be looking at letter K specifically because that's what Apple 2 is. And then we need to go through and figure out. Okay, so let's press space. Okay, that K apple dropped. I need to zoom out so we can actually see what's happening. Or I can scroll down here. Ooh, it looked like it wrote the letter D though on that apple and then went over through here. So, but it wrote a letter C out here. Let's see, press C. Okay, that C gets dropped. It wrote the letter C. Oh, it replaced it with a C again. Maybe that just got lucky. Try it again. Drops the letter C. Okay, now K. So it's working pretty good here, but the very first apple seems to not have the right letter on it on the ground. Let's try to see if that repeats itself. Okay, we have the letter T here. That should be our middle apple. Actually, we have 2 letter T's. Okay, that letter T gets dropped. X pops on the screen, but that is not an X. That looks like a Q. Okay, so I think if we look at our drop apple, the problem is we drop the apple. Here's the active writer. The letter is actually going to be our global letter. is going to be the most recent version. And after we make our apple, so let's update our letter here to say letter equals letter list 2. All right, so let's see now. If we drop this, we should be dropping the G. It should be G on the bottom, not S. G's on the bottom, and we have X appears. Okay. X is on the ground, T is the new one. So, okay, each time we're going through here, and this is basically what we have with part 4. So this is what you would turn in to go through. And you know what I'm going to do here is I'm going to zoom my code up so you guys can see it a little bit clearer. And you can pause the video anytime. You can kind of double check it with your work. So let's double check at the beginning here. You got import turtle, we got import random, we got our Apple image there. This stuff should be all good. WN is a screen. We changed the background, setup, shape. I have letter starts out as A, and we have Apple list, writer list, and letter list. All right, then we have draw Apple. Our draw Apple takes an active Apple, active writer. Okay, and we also get the globalize what letter we are using here. It goes through, we go to random spot, we pick a pen up, we get the writer basically going right next to it. We then change the letter to be a random letter from the alphabet. We add it to the letter list. We print it off to go through, and then we write that letter after on that top of that letter. Our drop Apple here, we say specifically what Apple and what writer we're going to use. We pick its pen up. We have it move. After we move, we have it go through and we write, and then we run the replace Apple using that same Apple and same writer. The replace Apple will go through and figure out where is it located in the list, pop it from that list, saving its spot, and then make a new Apple in that spot, make a new writer in that spot, pick its pen up and go to a new location and pick a new letter and put a new letter in that spot. And then what we did Apple dropper here, which was bound to the space key. But what we want to do here, Apple dropper, we just said press space and it's going to drop Apple number 2. Okay, so with part 5, what we need to do is we need to drop not Apple 2, but whatever Apple matches the letter that we press. So unfortunately, what we're going to have to do is we're going to kind of drop, copy this code here, Apple dropper, but we're going to have to make an Apple dropper for every key press. So might be easier here, and this is going to be tedious, but we're going to copy paste. So we need an Apple dropper A, right? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a capital A. And what we would have to do is, okay, we'll make the letter, global letter. And what we're going to have to do is to find if the letter is in the list. So we're going to go for every I in the range of the length of not Apple list, but let's do letter list. Alrighty. If letter list of I equals A. Ooh, I'm liking what AI is saying here. So let me see that again. All right. Drapple equals letter list at that index. Sounds pretty good. Writer, the drop writer would be I at that, or that writer in that same spot. Letter is going to be the letter list at that spot. Okay, so we're going to change the local letter. And then we're going to drop that Apple. And that's specific with A. All righty. What we need to do then, copy that. paste that again but this time for B. We're going to be looking at our letter list. Okay, where is there a B? Okay, is there B anywhere in that? And if there is, we go through, okay, AI, you're going to start doing your magic. What about apple dropper C? Oh, no, it's not. Okay, so here we go, copy paste. All right, so you guys can maybe pause the video, or you know what, I'm going to pause my recording and I'm going to copy paste this till we get all 26 letters. Let's see if I remember. Pause. All righty. I just have a couple more left to go. I got X, Y, and Z. Now you might see this as extremely tedious, and it totally is. In fact, this is typically not the coding that you would see. There's an advanced operation called the lambda, which would be like in the class beyond this that you could use here. But we, remember our goal is to kind of learn some fundamental things here. Okay, so in theory, what we just did is we made 26, almost the exact same code here. And we just called apple dropper A, B, apple dropper Y, apple dropper X, Z, and they all go through here. And we're basically going through every single item in the letter list. We're looking to see if that item is that letter. So apple dropper T is looking for a T. If we find a spot that has that, we're going to make the drop apple from our apple list in the same spot, our drop writer list in the same right. The letter that we're going to be dropping is in that spot, and we run the drop apple command. The next thing we need to do here is to remember that our on key press needs to be bound. So we're going to have to make and copy this code here, but do apple dropper A using the A command. And then, copy paste this here. We'll go through and do B with the letter B. Actually, you know what? It might have to be a lowercase a. Now that I see that, I'm going to do that. I think it's lowercase. Let's see. AI, you're going to be nice to me? Okay, cool. AI is being good. Let's keep this going. So once again, yeah, there is another advanced technique called the lambda, where it will actually is like a variable that you can pass through key commands. That's beyond us. So let's see. Don't want to get too far. We got to make 26 of these, but AI is being real nice. This is actually a whole lot better because I remember doing this project last year. I would have a couple where it'd be like, hey, these letters work, but then all of a sudden like an R wouldn't work. And you'd go back to your code and you'd be like, oh, I forget when I copy paste R, it was the same code as S. So this is actually kind of nice because I don't think AI is going to make a simple mistake like that. Hey, AI is a tool, like a shovel, like a saw. If you know how to use it, it's good and helpful. If you don't, you're kind of SOL. Okay, W, X, Y, and Z looks good. All right, and then, after that, we still have our WN listen and our WN main loop. Man, 400 lines of code on the dot. Let's test this out. Okay, so it's kind of like drum roll moment. I don't think we did too much craziness. I got to zoom this out a little bit. I can't operate on my laptop with it being so large like that. And then how do I, come on, lower this console here. Why can't I minimize this? Oh, well. Okay, let's just run the code. See, we've built. Okay. I know spacebar is going to change this A, but let's just pick. I'm going to press the letter U. Oh, the U dropped. We got a G. If we look at our list, that is replaced here, which is awesome. It's replacing it at its spot, and we have a U on the ground. Now I'm going to press U again. I don't see anything moving. I know you can't really hear, but I'm pressing the U button. Let me press just another one. Let's press the X button. Okay, that apple was on our list. It's down at the ground, and now the M replaced. Awesome. Let's check for every, I'll do X again. I'll do U again. I'll do G now. Okay, so that replaced the element number 3 in our list. All right, I'll do W, just checking to make sure every spot works. Let's do A. Okay, cool, that's working. B, that works. Cool. I'm gonna try to get to a scenario and we'll see what happens here. Do F. One thing is we will kind of have an issue here if we go through. There we go. But it seems to be working. So what I would do here is kind of double check your code. There's a lot of different errors, but be careful if you start typing too fast. Like I'm going to press W here, and while that's falling, I'm going to press Y. Oh, actually, wow, the way that we set up the code, it finished one and not the other one, and there's no error there. Pretty cool. So let's see if I can do like L, G, M, Q, Q, and N. I got a couple of turtles up here on the screen, but will it? Oh, other than this line here, that's actually not too bad. Okay, here's actually a perfect scenario I want. What happens if we get 2 turtles that are of the same letter? Well, let's find out. I'm going to press K. Something dropped there. Oh, I get 2 of them that dropped. Well, probably one, but it only will drop. It will drop. Actually, drop both of them. Cool. This actually works out better than the code we did last year. For you. Okay. Let me know if you guys have any issues, but hopefully you guys can go through, follow the code. I'm gonna zoom this up one more time so you guys can take a look at it, compare it to your code, and see if you have any issues. So pause this video at any time so you guys can look at your code. There's the drop apple code, or the draw apple code. Here's drop apple code. Here's the replace apple code. Apple dropper, which I guess we don't need because unless we want to keep that spacebar command. But then we have all 26 versions of Apple dropper A, B, C, D, E. I'm just going to go through this. Oh, I actually have 2 Apple dropper E's. Get rid of that. G, H, I, J, K, L. Oh, yep, I have 2 L's. M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. One doesn't like apple dropper T. Apple dropper T. What's it saying? Is obscured by a declaration of the same name. Do I have another apple dropper T? Oh, wait. Oh, I have 2 TUs. Huh. Dang. Wasn't paying attention. There's apple dropper T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Okay, and then all those commands there. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this works for you. And if you have any questions, you ask. Thanks again.